Big Willie. Big Willie was another guy that was close to Ed and us. He was the guy from the neighborhood that was pimping back during that time.
Big Willie Kilpatrick.
Yeah, that was his name. And his wife was named Mary. You understand? And Big Willie, you understand, he always been in the game. I mean, he was a fast-talking country motherfucker, but Willie was a good guy, you know, and he knew a lot of people, you know, and like I say, see, like anybody, you understand, that wanted some money, they was getting close, trying to get to Eddie if they know them, you understand? It was just a few people. Now, Russell Clayton, he was one of the original ones. Rudolph, the Garrett brothers, 5-0, Charlie, Junie, Zach. That was just half of the brothers, you understand? But those the ones that was close. And C-Dale and Jap was one of the first two guys that started selling, was the first two runners that was for Eddie at the time. And it was a lot of guys that was coming and going. And just like Peter Gunn, me, Peter Gunn, and Dean name was Robert Robertson. And we was the only ones that was really, you understand, hitting the road and going from state to state, taking drugs to different states, you understand? But I was the #1 driver. I'm talking about, like I said, I used to take trips back to back. It depending on where I was going. I was getting $30,000 a run, depending on what I was, you understand, transporting. That's when I was going back and forth up in New York. But like I say, after we started spreading out, we was selling drugs all on the East Coast, down south. You know, me and 5-0, we used to go up in Massachusetts and set up shop. Like I said, it's a lot of things that I'd have forgot. But at that time, you understand, you might as well say we was international because we was going everywhere at that time. And we had a hell of a team, you understand, as far as for the law. Milton Henry and Eddie tax lawyer, Lloyd Cohen, them was the baddest motherfuckers you ever seen in your life. Until
Norman
Eddie
Davis?
Huh?
You know Norman Davis?
Norman Davis, yeah.
He was accountant too, buddy.
Yeah. And Eddie had that lawyer out of New York, Ross Black. Yeah. Like I say, he was F. Lee Bailey partner. They the one wrote law books, you know?
And come to just find out, to show you the smallness of the world, Frank Matthews had F. Lee Bailey doing some work for him at the same time as y'all had his partner, Ross Black.
Uh-huh.
So y'all both, that crew, the Frank Matthews crew and y'all was about...
Yeah, I know it.
About
like
there.
I say, Frank Matthews, first time I ever ran into him, I was locked, me and him was locked up in the same cell. That was back in, I forgot what year it was. But like I say, you understand, you know, at that time, like I had mentioned before, back in that time, at Christmas time, all the number men and all the drug dealers would meet up in Vegas. That was every Christmas. And this particular Christmas, you understand, I think all this came down because Frank Matthews was in the town. I think that's why they riled us all up, was that, you know. But they already was hip to us because, you know, we had been going to Vegas every year around Christmas. You know, so I don't know how that happened because it was a whole lot of heavy hitters back there in Vegas that particular night, you know. Christmas. Big Wingate, he used to stay out there in Vegas. You know, he was one of the biggest number men in the city, you know. You know, and Stokes ended up being a big number two before he died, number man before he died. Stokes was a hell of a guy. And Herbie Daniels, he was another big number man.
That's the one they called Heavy Herbie?
That was his son was the Herbie Herbie, yeah.
What was the daddy name?
Herbie Daniels, Jr. I mean, Jr.'s the other one, is the senior, you know. And like I said, you understand, it's a lot of guys, you understand, that was getting money back in that time. The number men and that cocaine was their thing. You understand? I'm talking about two niggas, because at that time, there was no such thing as no rocks. You know, then there was a rich man high, you know, and then, I mean, it was going through with it too, you know. And then it's a few other people that I want to mention, you understand, like when Chucky used to have a pool room on 7 Mile, him and his partner Blood, they was some hell of a guy. Now Blood, you know, I love him to death, you understand. Me and Blood did a lot of things together. He was the smoothest guy that I ain't seen in a long time. I mean, he was quiet, but he was handling his business, Blood, you know. And it's like I say, this city here, man, it was something. It really is. The hustlers are back here then, they ain't around. And then I want to mention something about Memphis. Show you how small the world is. I had a hotel down on Wine and Brush. They called it the Shady Rest. I had 52 units in them. All the guys at the projects that was hustling, getting money, they was getting rooms down there. And this particular day, this guy by the name of Silk Bellamy, he was close to me. He used to come see me all the time. A lot of guys used to come down to my hotel, you understand, just kicking it, whatever. This particular day, I'll never forget this day. Memphis Slim pulled up at my building. He was supposed to be meeting Silk at my building. And when he came, Silk told me that he was waiting on Memphis. So Memphis pulled up, you understand, he came in the building, me and him kicking and whatever. I hadn't seen him in a good while, but he came down there to meet Silk. And he told Silk, come on, ride with him. He was going to take us some business. And I was in my office. Silk came to me and asked me, he said, man, I'm getting ready. He said, I'm getting ready to go. He said, why don't you come on ride with me in Memphis? I said, I'm going to ride with you in Memphis. Where y'all going? He said, I don't know. He want me to ride with. I said, I'm not going nowhere. I said, if you got a sense, you shouldn't just be riding or somebody, you don't know where you're going. And that was around 11 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock news. They had Memphis Slim in a car where he got killed on 8 Mile somewhere.
Ooh.
I'll never forget that day. You know?
What's up, family? It's your man, Courtney Robert Brown Jr. Here in Dakar, Senegal. Yes, Big Boss is still in West Africa. We're going to be here for a few more days. And we're having an awesome time here, family. So, we're hooking up with brothers here at the Made in Africa Project. Just had a real positive meeting with the brother who owns a nightclub over here called Dream. He's doing some thing in the film industry, got some studios. So 2021, look forward to some of Big Boss's first projects coming out of the motherland. So we are very excited about that. So anyway, guys, with all that's been going on this year in 2020, we didn't really get a chance to do the 10-year anniversary that we wanted to do for this project, which is what started the whole thing, the whole reason why there's even a YouTube channel and why there was the award-winning documentary Motown Mafia, and all that came with that, and before all of this, the Kingpin's Kid Radio, and now Eddie Jr.'s channel. But this whole thing began 10 years ago. So this is the 10th anniversary of when this project began. It began with this book, Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid. And so I know a lot of you guys, family, you actually know of me or Eddie Jr. or my old man or Fat Man's Legend. And you know it through YouTube. Some of you may have seen the documentary, which, by the way, is available at BigBossFilmWorks.com or on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, or most of your streaming platforms. You can still get the award-winning documentary, Motown Mafia. And it all began with this book. Shout out to Lou Stevens, my partner. You never see much of him because he's usually behind the camera, but he has been the backbone of Big Boss Filmworks since we started this thing, so shout out to you, Brother Lou. But so as I was saying, though, if you don't know the fact that why me and Eddie have been friends for, all of our lives, Eddie Jr., how his dad and my dad have been friends for all of their lives. The real story on how Eddie Jackson Sr., the Fat Man himself, how he started and built that $1 million empire. We've attempted to unpack it, but if you really want the story, the in-detailed story, give the book a shout. It's also available on Kindle. It's also a history lesson, like in chapter 1, let's just say in the beginning, you get the whole background in chapter 1 of where Detroit was at in the 50s and 60s, the real story with Black Bottom. A feel of what Detroit was like in 1971, where the Detroit Tigers were doing, what the Pistons were doing, what was going on with the race relations in the city. And then the fact that was the year that would change the course of the Fat Man's organization and everything. That was the year where he met the Gambino crime family. That was also the year where they had the raid on Hubble. which is still, I believe, standing the largest raid in narcotics history in the city of Detroit. So a lot of history, you know, in this book. And I just wanted to give a shout out. Who else? Michelle Moore, the Essence award-winning author, Hood Books. Say You Promise Enterprise, Say You Promise Publishing. Shout out to Michelle. She brought this home. You go, family. I'm not an author, so I put together the manuscript. Michelle Moore brought this project home. Anita Flanagan, the editor, Lou's auntie, you know, again. So shout out 10-year anniversary to the book and all the people who played a part in this thing, and it's just really cool, man. And now, you know, if you told us 10 years ago I might have said, yeah, I'll be in West Africa, but if you said 10 years ago, Courtney, you're gonna have a book road, and then the follow-up book, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you know, not the follow-up to this. Here's the follow-up, Motown Mafia, Big Man on Campus. But then, you know, we did come out with another book called Get Your Mind Right, Get Your Money Right, Getting Off Zero. And just where the idea started, man. People have been telling me my whole life that I had lived an interesting life and stuff I had seen. You know, working for my father, just growing up next to Eddie Jackson, seeing their whole rise, fall, and rise again, and now to be over here in Africa expanding, you know, this film work thing and this content creation to the motherland, looking up at some brothers. It's just a blessing, man. So we look forward. Want to say thank you again, though. If you don't know, not got the full in-depth story. 10-year anniversary, Motown Mafia. Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid. Check it out. You can get it from our website, BigBossFilmWorks.com. You can definitely get it from Amazon. And if you have not seen the award-winning documentary that followed up on that, you can definitely check that out on Amazon Prime. So, and Tubi TV, again, all the other ones. And the brothers here are taking good care of us in Senegal. So, good look, good shout out. Oh yeah, and with the 10-year anniversary, shout out to my man Al Prophet, what he's doing with American Dope out there. You know, Al has been very integral and just been a great assistance. He caught up with Al right when the book was coming out, and you know, he's gone on to do some really big things. And yeah, shout out to Al Prophet, shout out to Cavario, shout out to what they're doing over at American Dope. It's all good. So I ain't gonna hold you guys up, but again, Big Boss Filmworks live, Dakar, Senegal, West Africa, 10-year anniversary book, Kingpin's Kid, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid, Motown Mafia. Thank you all. Appreciate your support. Love you guys. I'll let you, man. Peace.